Hey guys, so I actually wanted to show you something that I did over the weekend. Um, so let's get right to it. So this is a drawing that I started, but what I've done is sometimes I don't. It's sometimes when I'm drawing, I'll have a difficult time trying to um, stabilize the camera and still focus on drawing at the same time. So sometimes I might not cover everything as much as detailed as I want to. So what I did is I decided to do some screenshots for as I was doing my drawing. So these are screenshots right now that I'm going to go through, and so let's get started. So here's what I did. I started off with the basic shape of the head. Um, I did the head first, then I moved on and I did the neck. Um, then what I did is, I'm sure you can see this already has some form to it. So I took a little bit of white, which you might be able to see along where my finger is tracing. And I did that on a separate layer. I made it, changed the opacity to a little, well, much brighter, so it would be very subtle, but you would still be able to see it enough. Then I took the same, well, not exactly the same color, but a darker skin tone, and I highlighted on the cheekbones, on here under the neck, the nose, and I made the spots for the eyes and kind of the eye, not exactly eyebrow, but just kind of the high bone, the bone line kind of around the eye. Um, so that's what I did on this one, and this might be a good step that you actually might want to start doing in your drawings. You might want to give it a try. This is the way I usually start most of my drawings. Um, anyway, move on to the next one. So now it's starting to look more human. So I added the lips in here. I added the eyes. Well, the inside of the eye, the eyebrows, and then I added more of that the white color that I was talking about around the face. I'm sure you can pretty much see it where it's traced out. This spot right here is still the same as that spot, but I'm sure you can see the difference of how they're the highlighting. Also, too, as you can tell, there's not much the nose isn't highlighted very much, versus on this one I added more highlight to just kind of define where the nose was. And then of course I added the hair. I added a part line up here where her hair was going to have a small part to it. Um, More like the scalp, I should say, the scalp line or whatever. Anyway, so then that's what I did. I moved on to that one. Now mind you, you want to do all of this in layers because it's much easier if you make a mistake than to fix it. Then it won't take you a lot of time having to go back and try to correct. Um, okay, so then we'll move on to the next one. Now I added in her eyeballs and um, I added in all of those things. I also started to add some flesh tones, a little rosiness to the cheeks, um, a little bit around the nose. I don't know how well you can see that, but add a little bit of that around the nose. Um, let's see. Um, I went over this layer again with adding more detail into the um, like tones of her skin. Um, so yeah, so you might want to try this out, but you can actually use like some dark reds, change the opacity to them, or you can use pink too. But pink, it depends on what kind of lighting you're working with. So for a drawing like this, I did red, um, kind of like kind of a peachy red, and then I mixed that in with her skin. I also did it a little bit around the eyes, if you can see, just to separate it, because if you were to fill right underneath your eye, there's that little lid, and so we wanted that to stand out and not just look like her eyes were just like flat stuck on her face. We wanted to look like they sink in enough on her face so it shows depth. Also too, I touched up the hairline just a little bit, not much. It really doesn't look like much, but it's just very little. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, so this was a pretty big jump from that to this, but anyway, um, I started to. I'm going to see if I can go into a little more detail on this one. I started off here with, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but I started using like very little things to like almost kind of like making her skin look like it might be a little more bumpy. Like if you were to fill it, it wouldn't just feel like a flat surface. Um, I added little textures like that. I added the mole. Obviously, you can see I did a lot to the eyes. I added a little bit of hair on her forehead. I kind of sealed up the hairline right here, but still enough to where you can tell where it starts, just so it's a little more realistic and not a humongous gap like there. Um, Also, too, I added on her kind of like her shoulder sleeve. They're kind of puffy. I added those on. I worked on her lips a little bit more from the previous one. You can see these are a lot more pale looking versus these. They're more red and plush, and she kind of looks more like she's actually alive now. Versus if you look at this one, it just kind of looks like if you were to see like some clay or something. But this one actually looks like she has some personality to her. Okay, so oh yeah, and then also little things too, like on the edging, I added a little bit of her hair, just so everything's not super perfect. So you know, because if you ever see someone, obviously there's little strands of hair that are just kind of sticking out. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the final drawing, and then you'll really be able to see the difference. Okay, so here's the final drawing. I did do a background. It's kind of a dark background, kind of like she's off in the woods somewhere. There's little fireflies in the air, just kind of buzzing around. Um, I added the rose into her hair. I added a lot of more hair strands on her face. Kind of look like it's like a slight breeze might kind of be blowing by, blowing those. Also too, along here on the edges, you can see there's hair that I've added. Um, and then I did a lot more on her face. So if you see the shadowing right here on the side of her face compared to here, there's a lot more. Her face looks more full and also more rounded too, because it's important to make sure that your drawing doesn't look super flat. So the more depth you can put in, that will really help. Um, so yeah, so I added some little polka dots on her dress or whatever. I added more shine on her lips compared to here where she had none. So I added shine just so it looked a little more realistic. Um, so yeah, so that's what kind of I did this weekend. I'm gonna upload one more video too, of one that I did today. I'm actually still doing a few touch-ups on it, but I'm gonna upload that one right after this one. So stick around for that. And so yeah, so this is my drawing, and that's kind of my small review and I guess tutorial on exactly maybe some steps that you guys can practice or take as you continue to draw. Also, too, I have some cool news that I want to talk about for those of you who are interested in doing art on tablets and such. So stick around for that review or that video. It should be up really soon. Alright, so I'm going to end this video and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye.